everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Lizzie. Welcome to Sunday's Soulful Sessions with Spirit, and we are still in our anger management series. We're doing session number 2, and we're focusing on how to heal and forgive your attacker and bully so that you can move on healthy and more free and vibrant for your future. Before I get into anything, I just want to say there's no way that I could specifically talk about every kind of trauma anyone has experienced as far as assault or bullying or any kind of attack. So I'm not really going to talk about specific things because I'm not focusing on the attack or the bullying. I'm focusing on how you overcome it and heal it. As in, it's already happened to you. You've had some time with it, and now I'm going to help get you from that part. This isn't talking about specific traumas. This isn't talking about specific things or specific types or groups. This is for anybody who's ever been bullied and still suffers or struggles with it, whether it be self-confidence or just PTSD from it or any kind of assault. I experienced a lot of trauma in my life. I've spent a lot of years in actual clinical therapy for my trauma. I still have to work at it every single day. So as a spiritual healer, as I was learning different cultures and different things, this has been my focus. I'm always going to be a healer who helps somebody come from this kind of place because this is the path I walked. So this is the part that life showed me as a shaman, that you have to understand it to heal it. And who better to understand it than somebody who walked it themselves? So some of this, even though I picked the topic, I just picked the topic in the decks. This is a collaboration with Spirit, so they're guiding what cards I use, what message comes out, what we need to talk about today. There's no way I could finish this all in one session, so I feel like collectively, overall, they're just going to talk about what we're struggling as a whole, the big points. Nobody can really heal you in one session for anything. I wouldn't buy into anything that's like a 1-hour cure-all, 1 week vacation and you're healed. All that is bullshit. I would stay away from it, to be honest. Any kind of trauma or bullying or attack, you are not, I'm sorry, there's just no way impossible for you to be healed in a retreat or being hypnotized or whatever. So watch it with your money and watch it with people who give you false hope and cures, because the only way for you to get out of this, the only way for you to take control of your life is to do the work. You have to fight, and it's fucking unfair. This thing happened to you, these people came into your life and traumatized you. Why should you have to do the work? I get it. You get angry. Oh, I have to do more. On top of what I've already endured, I have to do more. And then you get angry, and I understand this. This is the stuff I'm talking about. Everybody experiences it differently. Some people, really stay stuck in one part of it, jump back and forth, and some people skip whole parts entirely. Like, every person is different. So let's start with some advice for you. This is currently in your life, apart from what happened to you. This is development and stuff in here that you can work on before we get into the session. Body, ease, and truth. So a lot of us, what we're going to be discussing, a big talking point is body. Either body image or how to learn how to be touched. How to talk about what you can talk about, and what is a healthy boundary with your trauma, as in when people come into your life, what should you tell them? Should you have to tell them anything? If you want to talk about things and you don't know how, Speaking your truth is a very big way of finding your freedom and grief. What I did, I wrote a book. I didn't allow anyone on this planet to read it. I didn't want anyone to know what happened to me. This is a part of my trauma. Like I said, everybody's going to have their own thing. Some people are comfortable with publicly saying and sitting down and discussing in full detail what happened to them. I'm not going to be one of those people ever. So I wrote a book for myself, and I put every horrific fucking thing in it. And then I forced myself to read it, and I cried for 30 days, and then I burned the book. And I've never been more freer. Some people would have chose to sell that book and make millions, like the story The Child Called It. People's trauma sells. I just could not get my truth out, and I feel like this is relative to a lot of people. I can't discuss parts of what happened to me at all. It will never come out of my mouth, and I feel like this is being shown to me because this is happening to a lot of people. Whether it be like a physical assault or bullying, talking about it, getting it out. This is what happened to me is the most difficult part of recovery. Ease. This is about, look, like I said, everybody grieves things and goes through trauma in their own way. This is not a race. Before I get into any kind of lecture, Spirit's like, I need to do a PSA. This is about just looking up in the sky. You're on the swing. The truth is, there's swings all in a row. There's swings next to you. There's swings behind you. But you can't tell this from the picture, can you? No, because you need to tune everybody out and just look up at the sky and swing at your own pace. Just because somebody went on a retreat and feels better and you went on a retreat and feels worse does not mean that you're uncurable. Everybody does their own thing in their own way. This is about finding you in your own journey. People like me can give you tools. They can help you through it. You got to do the work. But how you do the work, how you work the steps is entirely up to you. There's no like step 1, step 2, step 3, because everything is emotionally based when you're recovering from trauma. So you might wake up one day and, okay, well, I need this today. And then you wake up the next day and you need something else. So there's no step 1, step 2, step 3, because you got to go by, okay, today I'm going to be this kind of swinger. And tomorrow I'm going to be like pumping my legs like I want to go fast. Like what kind of pace? Go at your own pace. It's all up to you. Friend and release. This is about a lot of people, like, I'm a weirdo, so it's really hard to base, but most people find it easier, like once they've come away from the trauma after a few years or even a few weeks and they're ready to talk, they go to somebody who's like a best friend or somebody who they can tell their truth to that has no real power because they're afraid of other people. Like the first part of a reaction, normally, everybody's different. This is just based on normal study. There's like a shame or I don't want anybody to know. So they tell somebody who's like at the same level, like a fellow student or like somebody in the neighborhood who, works from home like they do. Like somebody on their level in the friendship zone is usually the first people that really find out what happens to someone. And this could go the other way. Like I found, and in a lot of studies back this up, you can't be friends with your counselor. Like when you have a clinical psychologist, there is a professionalism that goes on. But the best ones made them I don't know how they did it, but it was like there was the professionalism. But like I saw them every week, and I would walk in and be like, "Hey, how you?" Like there was like a friendship, but we weren't friend. Like there was an understanding of like we can't chill outside of this office, but you're safe here. Like I'm your friend. I'm here for you. Like it was somebody that I trusted talking to. So I feel like this is a direct for anybody in the psychology world who's just watching this on a psychological level. But that's a really hard thing to do, to be able to maintain this. Here's a line, like, I'm the doctor, you're the patient. You know, you're safe in this room. Whatever you say to me, I'm not going to judge you. And, you know, please keep in mind that I'm only here to help you. I'm not here to come to your kid's bar mitzvah or your Thanksgiving feast, anything like that. But I genuinely care about you, and you know, it'll be a pleasure to see you every week. You know, there has to be a comfort, almost a feeling of friendship or family, like a boss that you really like, that you could come in and be like, "Hey, how's your day going? Oh my God, do you know what my kid did last night?" And the boss like actually look up and be like, "What?" You know what I mean? But you go right back to work. It's hard to find that, but I feel like that's very important. I know I bring Patch Adams up a lot, but humor is really, really helpful in trauma, but it's sensitive to the patient, because it depends on what level of the trauma. More trauma can be inflicted with humor. If you do it like on the day they are traumatized, that is not a time for humor. You know, like me, when I had panic attacks, my counselor would make jokes, like, you know, to make me laugh about it, laugh it off a little bit. But this is, like I said, these are people, I almost feel like telling you, like, find somebody that could, look, this is what happened to you. You shouldn't keep it a secret, but I'm not going to push that. How could I? I didn't say a word about what happened to me until I was 18, and that was long after. And I understand. There were so many times that I went to tell somebody, and I just couldn't. I just froze, and I was like, never mind. Or, oh, wrong room. Or, like, there, you know. I went there with the intention of wanting to speak my truth and shut down and couldn't do it. And I did that for years. So there can be the intention of wanting to speak your truth. Like I said, I feel like this is a can we're opening, because this is what is the paralyzing part of overcoming trauma. The wanting to release it, but not physically being able to get it out of your body. And then, of course, any kind of trauma like bullying, mentally, physical, spiritually, makes you feel gross about yourself and how you look. You're always feeling inadequate. Or if you are a person of assault, like a person who's coming from the assault aspect of this, touch can trigger. I went years, don't fucking touch me. Like angry. And it was easy, like brush up the arm. If you were a man, I took that as you grab my ass. I didn't see the difference. And I feel like we're getting into this abrasive defense we go into as somebody who is a victim of something and overcoming it until you're healed. There's like a shield. And this is something a lot of us do without wanting to or without realizing it. Trauma causes a reaction in your body, like, I don't know if you've all seen the movie 300, but you know, they all had a shield and a long stick thing, but in whole they all worked together. They could defend and fight with it individually, but it collectively worked together. So it's like Hold on. I just got a really big download and forgot where we were going, but we're going left. Let me follow it. We'll probably come back. It's never happened to me. I feel like I just got amnesia. Maybe I'm getting ahead of the lecture. This is supposed to be you stuff, but this is Sparta happened and my brains died. What is happening? Oh. I forgot something, that's why. Okay, so you have release and friend, right? Speak up and listen, and now I remember it. Weird. Spirit works in weird ways. I'm scared of getting amnesia, so I don't like this game. I don't like it one bit. But remember what I was saying? Like, you confide in someone that you trust. Yeah. This is Sparta. Like, this is somebody. All right. So you're on the field with your, your shield and your stick, and your friends fighting. And when you guys come together, it collectively shields the whole. It's like, I don't know why I'm feeling the need to, when people tell you the truth, like, I'm feeling the need to counsel people who aren't experiencing the trauma but are hearing it. The first step when your friend tells you something happened to them or that they're going through something is always to listen. And understand what I just said, how hard it is for a person of any kind of trauma to even get it out of their body, and how many times somebody could actually approach to say it and not be able to. You are making that day count for that person by just being quiet and just listening and letting them just get it out. I feel like what I feel was best, and it's not going to work for everyone. And you're going to have to encourage them to keep talking without interrupting. Like, it almost comes out in like a spew. Like, I just want to get it out so fast. And sometimes they say it really fast, or they kind of mumble it a little bit, and then you have to kind of be like, wait, what? Because it's that, this is what I want you to understand. It's like, I just got to get it out. I don't know what to do, is what they're saying. It's my time. I don't know what to do. This is hurting. I need to get it out of my body. I need to communicate. So as a friend, sit, no matter how hard it is, no matter what they're saying. Love them through it. Like this person's rubbing their arm, like, I'm here. Tell me, I want to hear what happened to you. And then what? Okay, it's okay, just breathe, keep going. Let them get their truth out, because understand, like I said, how hard it is for that person. Be the shield and the staff. Now, this is where it gets tricky. Unfortunately, you have now a responsibility to this friend. Usually what happens when somebody tells you something horrific, you need to tell somebody. You can tell someone, I'll go with you. Make it count. Like, I am becoming closer to my true self every day. This person hurt you, or this is not okay. I'm going to go over there and tell them to stop bullying you, or I'm going to, we'll go with you and we'll stand up together like an army. But when it comes to trauma, they really don't The trauma part of the reaction is, I don't want to tell anybody. And you can cause more trauma by forcing them to speak before they're ready. But I feel I got pushed to speak a lot, and no matter how many pushes I got, I didn't speak, but most people will. You know, a lot of people, I do that same tactic too. I haven't come across a little girl who holds out or a little boy who holds out like I did. I feel like I'm a weirdo, but that doesn't, it could be you as well. But it's like, you can't just go behind their back and tell somebody. You have to go with them. They got to be able to do it themselves. This is a part of their healing. You can't do it for them as much as you are and want to. And it might take you a few days of like, we really need to tell someone. Like, listen, you're never going to have peace in your heart if you don't do something about this. And what if they hurt somebody else? You wouldn't want that to happen. Or this person shouldn't get away with doing this. This is wrong. Nobody tolerates bullying anymore. Like, work isn't going to tolerate it. Like, we're here for you. And it takes a little bit for that person, but just reestablishing that this is Sparta with the shields around them, they will grow to have the courage to be like, yeah, I'm protected. The more protected somebody feels, the more supported somebody feels, the more likely they are to talk about their trauma. And talking is always the first part of forgiveness for anything. So, whether you're just going full force and talking to someone like a police officer or a counselor or like a stranger, or you're going to a friend or a family member, or if you write about it, you know, like step one for you, and this, not that, like I said, there is no step one, step two, but in this conversation, we're at the phase of something traumatic happened. We've admitted it to someone. We've gotten the release. We've done that release for ourselves. And until that happens, none of the rest of the lecture is going to make sense. Or be well, it'll make sense, but it's not going to be effective. So if you are someone out there who is doing this, yes, listen to the whole thing. But remember, you can't do the rest of this until you have spoken your truth. There's no way to heal and forgive and keep it all inside. I tried for years. From age 7 to 18, I tried to not tell anybody, and nothing worked. Whoa, this flew. But maybe running after you is like chasing the clouds. These are all quotes, by the way, that are going to help me give you some advice. Like this kind of advice, work for you, and then we're going to get into the lecture. Oh, I'm sorry. I have one more personal development deck, and then we'll get into the lecture. Running after you is like chasing the clouds, like trying to get ahead of this, trying to run away from what happened to you. You're never going to outrun it. It's just going to keep catching up to you, You're just going to find more bad habits to bury it with. It's completely toxic and completely destructive to not release, and there is no outrunning it. You outrun it for some time. I feel like that's part of everyone's process. I outran it for years myself, but there is no outrunning it. I have come to the other end of this, and I am telling you, I am the biggest procrastinator when it came to this stuff. I didn't want to talk to no one. I didn't think I needed help. I told everyone to F off. I was fine. I was the worst kid to counsel. So when I tell you, there's no loophole, there is none. I'm very smart. I'm very good at loopholes. I would have found it, and I would spill the tea. There's just no, the old-fashioned way is the only way, sis, bro. You gotta do the work. You gotta face it. I like the feeling, but I'm not on cloud 9. This is about diluting those feelings. This is also a big part of the toxicity of stress, PTSD, being a victim, drugs, alcohol. I just want to forget. This makes me feel like I'm normal, like nothing ever happened to me. I don't have nightmares if I do this. I let people touch me if I do that. I fit in and I can laugh if I do that. And all those this or that's are probably not good for you. And probably very destructive to your path and your life. I'm a late bloomer very much because of what happened to me. And knocked out my confidence and knocked out my self-worth. I fell in a hole of depression and just didn't give a shit about nothing. I didn't care about my future. I didn't care about a career. I gave up every dream I had. I stopped laughing. I even stopped speaking for a year. I ran away. I was a deviant. Like all those things that you do to push it all away. It's not going to work and it's going to destroy your life. Facing it is the only way. I wish I had a different answer because I know you're home like, so fucking sick of hearing this. I know, boo-boo. You can get where I am too. I didn't think I would ever be fucking through it normal. I thought I was going to be just an asshole the rest of my life. I didn't think I could be happy and laugh and just be light. But you can. You just gotta sweat a lot and never give up. Nothing hard about that, right? I'm here to help you. Don't waste your time in anger, regrets, worries, and grudges. Life is too short to be unhappy. Exactly. We all waste this time in this funk because we're broke. We're hurt. And God dang it, hurt people do hurt shit. Don't blame yourself for being in that rut. Even the angels up there are looking at you with compassion for what you endured, for your soul breaking. They cry for you. They weep for you as you break and you destroy and your destruction. It's all this inside. Why the did you do this to me? All that is all of the bad things that you do because you're not letting it out. Why me? God damn it! The more you don't shout that, the worse you get. I'm gonna make it through this without crying, I swear. I did my makeup extra good just so I wouldn't. That is also a tactic of my trauma. How to make yourself not react. Alright, let's get some more self-advice before I open that can too. Alright. Ask with sincerity. The first thing you do, take the lead. When you start telling your truth and speaking up, everybody's going to have an opinion. Everyone's going to have something to say about your trauma and what you should do about it. Listen, you might be lost and you might not know what the hell to do. So in that case, ask with sincerity. Like I said, wake up in that moment. What do you need today? I just want to be in my room alone. I just want to sleep. Can I just sleep today? Say it with sincerity. I'm not trying to be a jerk. Tomorrow I will get up. I will go to counseling. I will talk to everybody. But today, can I just have today to sleep? Or I need to get out of this house. You've kept me cooped up and protected and huddled because you don't want me to have to face people. But I need air. I'm going for a walk. Whatever your soul is saying, you gotta speak up. Because a doctor's going to come in and they have their way of doing it and they have patients. They realize every patient is different. You're going to be helping them help you by being more vocal. Like, no, I'm sorry. I really don't feel like this is helpful for me. But don't fight it. Genuinely, because that's going to be excuse to use for everything, because I would have took that and ran with it. And I don't feel like this is good for me. I asked you to sit down on the couch and start your session. I don't feel like sessions are good for me, so I'm just going to go, okay? Because I'm asking with sincerity, and that's positive for my growth. See you later, Doc. That was the kind of patient I was. Me at like 12. Like, no. I'm not sitting on your couch. I don't really care what you think. Oh, is that your professional opinion? Did you get that at the library? On your library card? Oh my God, look at you with your little cute doctor coat. Are you going to heal me? Yes. Sarcasm, especially with young kids and teenagers. Their speak up is I'm fucking pissed and I hate everybody, so you're all gonna get my shit and I'm gonna be a mouthy little cuss because I feel like it, because I'm angry. You have to understand that a lot of us carry shame for those moments. I look back on those moments not with pride. I'm like, I hope I never see those people again. I was horrible. But they're not looking at me like we look at ourselves. This is what I just said. A little kid who's fucking pissed. Somebody hurt them. They don't like adults. They don't want to be here. They're pissed that they even have to be here because of what somebody did to them. And they just want to be a normal kid. And they don't know how to express that. So they're just going to be a dick. Every single time the counselors were like, okay, why don't you try? I feel like they never raised their voice at me. But this is about taking the lead in forgiving yourself for the moments of our trauma that were not our best versions. There's been a few tongue lashings people got because they pissed me off on the wrong motherfucking day. And I just let everything I wanted to say to who was bullying and attacking me went to innocent people, which were all guilty of that too. They could be trying to teach you triggers as well, how to spot people in your community that might be experiencing trauma. Like a lot of actual bullies, like kids who go to school and bully other kids with physical harm, are 80%, they did a study on this, I read it, and I was shocked, but 80% of kids who go to school and hit other kids are getting hit at home. You know, they come home and they're getting treated like animals, and that's what they learn. Like power is everything, so they can't get power at home, and they're hurt and they're traumatized, and the only thing that makes them feel better about themselves is not to be the one on the bottom. So if they can make someone else the one on the bottom, they feel content with their life. Everything is triggered to a trauma. It's crazy. I'm sure we're going to be getting into that. Oh wait, we already played with that. Where should we start, Spirit? Let's start at the point of, like I said, you're speaking out now, you're telling people, or you're starting to, you don't have to be telling people. You could be doing therapy in secret and writing in your journal about it. But you're at the point of release. Let's start there with therapy. Let love in, Rogue and Gambit. So think about Rogue, right? If anybody touched Rogue, they would die. She was a person that couldn't have physical touch. Every kind of connection she had with somebody was an emotional one. I feel like a lot of us, especially with sexual assault, struggle to be touched or have sexual relations again, or you go the other way with it, and the only time you feel alive is in a sexual way. So I feel like the best thing to do, no matter what side you're on for healing, is to let love into yourself by setting those boundaries and being a rogue. And if you really want a connection with someone, build an emotional one while you're healing. I feel like physical touch is very much triggering to the healing process. And while you're healing, I don't suggest having sex. I know that everyone's like, what? But think about, like, you don't have to do it forever. Like 6 weeks is what I started with. When I really started facing my trauma, I wasn't really in a relationship anyway, so it was easy for me to do. But they recommend, when you're really trying to face what happened to you in a sexual way or a physical way, reliving those experiences can be extremely triggering and traumatic. And having sex could actually, deter. They want you to focus on how you feel and not get caught up in other emotions and things that sex and complications with sex add. Plus, it can be very traumatic. It could set somebody back in their growth and keep them in that, rogue of, I don't want to be touched forever. I tried it. Now I'm trying. That happened to me. Like, I wasn't getting help for my trauma. I liked someone. I tried to do stuff and I had a physical reaction. I punched them in their face. Like, not even like, I'm going to punch them in the face. My arm just swung out. Like, it was my face. I was like, because I didn't even mean to, but my body felt panic. So to avoid those moments, especially while you're like literally removing sex, was better for me to be able to face in myself, to separate the bad person's touch from touches I wanted to be touched by. I got very confused and caught up in therapy with any kind of like romance and trying to relive. It just adds a complication. Like when you're in AA and you're coming down from recovery, they always tell you to like wait a year, whatever, how long before you have a relationship. And I feel like this is the same aspect. You really can't be in a correct physical relationship, sexual wise, or, well, you could in an emotional way. You could just stay together and just not do anything sexual and have your person support you emotionally. And they should. If they understand what you're going through, they should be on board. Like 6 weeks shouldn't be a problem for them for what you're going through. And they shouldn't be any time ever a pressure or make you feel guilt for not having sex, because that can add more trauma to your trauma. But this is about letting love in, and like I said, nothing is a race. So move slowly. Like when you're ready and you feel like you want to be touched again. You want to know what? I went to a friend. Happened to be gay, but they don't have to be. I just felt more comfortable doing it with someone who was gay. They are also more sensitive and understood where I was coming from and let me do it 50 times and did not think I was a weirdo. But, like, okay. I would sit there and be like, can I hold your hand for a second? And he'd be like, okay. So he gave me his hand, and like even then, like I couldn't do it for longer than 3 seconds, and he felt my body shake, and he then understood that it was a real trauma. It has to be someone you trust. Like it wasn't anything sexual, but I was like, can you put your hand on my leg? And like I immediately started sweating, and he's like, okay, we're not ready for that one yet. Like literally test yourself with someone you trust. It does not have to be in a sexual way. Just trusting them and just be like, okay, try it now. Okay, try it now. It was actually helpful. It helped me feel like I was in control of my reactions, because I felt like a weirdo. I couldn't explain why. I was like shaking like when a kitten purrs, just from like a person standing too close. I was like, my body reacted, And here I am standing there like, just be normal. Just stand straight. Why are you shaking? What is wrong with you? Then my lip went like it was freezing in there, and it was like mad hot. Everyone's sweating, and my lips going. I felt like a fucking weirdo. So also sitting there with that person and understanding what each reaction did to me, what I knew to avoid, and why. Seeing the reaction in a weird way helped me understand why it was happening. Okay, well, my leg makes me sweat because that's genuinely closer to my woohoo. The closer they get, the more nervous I get. So, okay, so for right now, let's stay above the waist. Great, that's what I'm ready for. You also learn how to set a boundary. Miss Marvel, I am part of something bigger. This is about taking your power back within yourself. A lot of strength, especially since I was a kid when this happened to me, learning karate, learning how to physically defend myself and mentally know that nobody could ever just get me or attack me. Like, you never know what's going to happen, but at least now I can fight for myself. Just some people get a gun. Like, I'm not a gun supporter, but I know a lot of women and men who are rape survivors that have a handgun in their house, and that just gives them peace to just know it's there. They don't even touch it. They probably clean it once a year, but just knowing it's there is a big part of their recovery. This is about finding something to make you feel powerful again. Getting a security system, getting nanny cams, learning self-defense. I still wear 2 pairs of underwear. I wear underwear and then boy shorts because if anyone tries to rape me or whatever, I got more time to get away. Everyone looks at me like I'm a weirdo, but I don't feel scared all day. So I wear a pair of boy shorts over my underwear, and I don't give a shit. Who cares? It makes you feel powerful. I'm 38, I still do that. Do what works for you. And it's a true story. More time for me to gouge their eyeballs or kick them in the nuts to get away because they had to get... Because I always wear tight boy shorts too. Like the Under Armour ones that don't just slide off. Good fucking luck. If they get those off before I've obliterated them, then I don't know. I used to wear more layers, so I feel like that's progress for me because I used to wear jeans and then leggings under my jeans. And then high-knee socks so that they couldn't just pull my pants off. And then a long sleeve and then a t-shirt. Yeah, I was scared. Layers gave me time. We do quirky things is what I'm getting at. But what quirky thing makes you feel like they ain't gonna get me? Because that is what gives you strength again to get up and go on. Where do we go next? Let's talk about energies. When you're starting your therapy, we get cracking into what happened to us, talking about things possibly for the first time, in comes a lot of emotions. So at this point, Spirit, what advice? This is when the forgiving actually starts to happen, even though it's the thick of it for us and we're feeling the most anger and upset. Release comes from dealing. So now you're starting to deal with things, so you are actually starting to forgive. Dear, trust in the support of the universe. This is about leaning on that support group not only emotionally and, for what you need, but this is like being there for yourself, being protective of yourself and your journey. I think it would be helpful, because I didn't understand that this was going to happen. When I started therapy, I would lash, at this point when I'm getting in the thick of it, of what really opening that can of the things, and I've been trying to shove that down for years. This is where most people are, when they're just starting to take one lid off, then another lid off, and the stress of that alone is so much. And this is where emotional outbursts come, not being able to sleep because you're having dreams, loss of appetite, or overeating, eating your feelings. Depression comes in thick here. So this is sometimes we take it out on the people around us, but by making them aware of, I'm really sorry, I lashed out at you today and it wasn't about you at all, just therapy, I'm getting into the thick of it and I have all this anger and I don't know what to do and I'm just trying to get it out of my body. So if for the next couple of weeks I'm just like an a-hole, please know that it is not you and I am sorry every time. Just putting that out there to your people is one, going to make you feel better. Not that that gives you a right to treat them like shit, and you should still apologize every time if you do it again, but for them to understand, okay, she's right or he's right. They're really getting into it. This is a hard time for them, and, I would be angry too, I get it. I understand. It's okay. I'm here for you. Your people, your ride or dies. Just fill them in. Today's a hard day, guys. I just want to cry, and I don't know why. And they're going to tell you, just fucking cry. It's all right. We're here. Saying that is a release as well. Dolphin. Live joyfully in the present. It's okay to be... I think when we go through therapy, we feel like... we go through, most people go through pockets. You're not just sad all day, and sometimes you are sad all day. I feel like it's an ebb and flow as you go through therapy. The more you release, the more lighter you become, but the more angry you get. So that's a constant tug of war in there. But just make sure in the moments you can to do something light, to remind yourself to be positive. Go to the arcade and play video games with your kids or your friends. Go see a movie that makes you laugh or a comedy show. Remind yourself that, okay, I know we're healing, I know we're going through a lot, but, the best thing to do is laugh and to take ourselves out of it for a minute. We need those moments to just breathe for a second. All right, let's talk about... I'm going to go check my laundry real fast. Be right back. Sorry about that. I'm just a little frustrated because I have to stuff all my stuff in one dryer because somebody just put their stuff in there and left it. I don't want to touch anyone's gross stuff. Alright, so let's talk about the first part of forgiveness. We're in that aspect of we have this anger going. We're in the thick of our feels. It's not just anger. We're upset. We're emotional. Then we go into ice mode and we just don't have emotions at all because we just can't deal that day. Roller coaster ride, basically, is what I'm getting at. So this is the first stage of forgiveness. So what... Oh, hello. Divine flow. Eventually, one sublime desire takes precedence over all others. To follow the Teo. I don't like that word. As a dyslexic person, I just say oat. Anyway, the divine flow at all costs. Yes, this is about going with the flow and honoring your feelings. I know a lot of us, again, especially if you're at the end of it, I look back on these moments with some shame because, like I said, one day I walked into an insurance place. They blocked me in, like literally blocked my car in, and I couldn't get out. They were doing it just to be dicks, but they were forcing me against my will, and they were trying to control me like my attacker, and it triggered me into fight or flight, and stuff went down. So I didn't understand at the time that is why I reacted that way, that they were holding me against my will. They were literally not letting me leave and trying to take power over me. And in my mind, I went right back to 7. We have triggers. And these triggers teach us what has not healed yet. That's why they're there. They're not there so that we have a reaction and embarrass ourselves or get ourselves in trouble. They are there to say, hey, here's your wound. Let's work on this. So I feel like every day it's going to be different on your journey than it was for mine or someone else's. But as long as every day you're honoring how you feel and you're genuinely dealing with it and not pushing it down or making excuses, you're doing what you need to do and you're going with the flow, that is a part of forgiveness. I don't feel like at this part anyone can be like, yes, attacker, yes, bully, I forgive you. Yes, we can totally make peace. No, because you're going through the thick of it. You're thinking about what was said and what was done, and you're going through the heart-wrenching, gut-wrenching part of your therapy. This is when you hate them. This is when you probably want them to die. This is when you're cursing God and just frustrated as all get out, that you have to deal with it, that you have to be in it, that this is your life, like all of it. It's just a tornado, pardon my French, but a tornado of shit, okay? Nobody's normal, nobody is sane, nobody is okay, and nobody's ready to forgive. It's okay. It's not the time to forgive, but you're working your way through it. At this point, all Spirit is saying is you need to honor what you're feeling for that. Like, again, we are not forgiving this stuff and these people for them. We're forgiving for ourselves so we can cut the tether. Because by not forgiving them, it's like a string attached to your soul that goes to that person forever. And until you forgive that, it doesn't cut. You're just attached energetically to this thing, to this person. So as you're learning why this tether is even there and dealing with the fact that you even have a dang tether in the first place, if you wake up that day and you're like, I just want to hang up their picture and throw dots at it, Spirit's like, do it. It's okay to embrace the anger. It's okay to scream, I fucking hate you, and I hope you fucking die for what you did to me. It's okay. It's okay, Spirit says. It's your time of release. You have to get it out, and you have the right to. Spirit says you have the gosh dang right to. Be mad. We are mad with you. God is standing in that field with you like, yes! They're jerks, I know! Yell some more! They're not judging you in the way that you feel. They're rooting you on. They're not promoting you actually doing anything to hurt anyone or to damage your life in any way. This is about healthy release. Writing a letter to your attacker. You hurt me, even if they never fucking read it. Who cares? While they're sitting in prison, make them read that shit. Say everything you want to goddamn say, and you let it out your body. Spirit says, we support you. Whatever is going to help you. You cannot forgive until this anger, until this frustration, until this is out of your body. For however long you have to do that, for however long it takes, for however this is my time to freaking scream at the sky and say, why me? What the F? You do it. You go with the flow. You get it all out of your body until your body is empty. That is the first part of forgiveness. What's the next part of forgiveness, Spirit? When your body and all those emotions, now you're getting in, you're understanding what happened to you. You're able to talk about it a little bit better, or at least experience it within yourself a little bit better. You have a little bit more of a handle on your emotions. Let's face it, that takes years. So no, I am 38 and I'm still not a master of it. If I know someone's a rapist, I still have to fight myself not to she-bear the fuck out of that mother effer. I don't care. I'll go to jail. Shit. Like I have to push that down. And I'm not sure that's ever going to go away. And you're always going to have a little bit of anger. And I just think that's human because of what people endured, whether it's attack or bullying. Like, it's going to always be a little bit on the top. You're always going to have a moment where you look back and you're like, oh, okay, wait. Breathe it out. We're past that. But it's always going to come back for a moment of, oh. You have to check yourself. It's like they constantly test your growth. Are you going to go backwards? So, when we're at the part of release and we're now like, okay, now what do we do? So this happened to me. I can say this happened to me. I know that what they did was their choice and not mine. I am not responsible. This is when I did most of my crying and when most people get that emotional depression. Not wanting to live was a natural feeling for me. I feel like, okay, we've accepted what was done. We relived what was done. But now we're broken again. And what do you do when you're broken? How is this a part of forgiveness, Spirit? Extraordinary. There's a wild and impetuous uniqueness to you that deserves to be honored. This is about the point where we need to realize, like I said, okay, I've accepted what's happened to me. Why? I understand the psychology of it. I'm broken again, but look at you, though. You have overcome something horrific. Actually, whoever did that to you, if it was done to them, couldn't even do what you're doing now. This is about seeing your strength, recognizing strength in yourself, and having reminders of it in your life. This is about making self-care, making yourself feel good. When we are in that depressive state and we just don't want to go on, this is when we should be going to get our hair did and our nails done or our beard groomed and a nice fresh cut, new jeans, new kicks, going out with your friends, to the movies, laughing. And this is when you should be filling up your schedule, taking really good care of yourself, spiritual baths, cleaning your ears every day, skin care, because you don't want to, because you don't care about yourself, this is why you should be doing it. This is a part of forgiveness. Loving yourself through your own pain. It's only going to help you see at the end that you are your own savior. You faced it. You faced your own demon in the mirror. And then you healed your own self and stood back up. This is about self-love. This is how you start forgiving. First is acceptance and honoring those moments. Next is self-love and putting yourself back out there and not allowing this thing to defeat you mentally or physically is a part of forgiveness. And then we have flow, also reminding you that this is done in time. Just because you go get your hair done doesn't mean the next day, oh my God, hiccups, you're going to be cured. This is a good one. Spirit, I hiccup so hard when I'm channeling good, so I'm sorry, but that one hurt. The really hard ones. That sounds really perverted. I'm sorry. But anyway, sometimes I'm just like, why do things come out of your mouth like that? It's my own perverted brain. Well, this is maybe making you laugh, getting you out of your comfort zone. Honor that. Like, you're going to have to work on self-love every day. Write positive affirmations and stick them up around your house. You know, do something good for yourself every day. And the more miserable you feel, the more you want to crawl in bed, get up, take a walk. Fight yourself. You've got to fight yourself through it. No one can do it for you, boo-boo. I know, it's so annoying. I laid in bed for so many days in a row. It was disgusting. But, then I was like, no, this is not our life. We are getting up. This is the part I'm telling you about. When the truth hits you in the face. So you're done running from it. You faced it. You relived it. You're still reliving it. You're in this of, am I going to have to do this for the rest of my life? Is this my life now? Is this my fucking life? I'm just going to have to wake up every day and relive this shit. Look at these people outside, just walking with a smile on their face like they don't have a gosh dang care in the freaking world. And here I am in here suffering because some asshole. So there's still a level of, but it changes into a, why should I even bother? This is when we need to get those, this is sport, I'm over, fuckers, kick them off the side. You're not going to ruin my life. I'm going to look fresh to death today. I'm going to have a great day, and I'm going to smile just to spite your jerk face. If that's what you need to do, Spirit says, don't judge yourself. They give you the tools in your toolbox. If anger is a motivation, use it. Anger is a very good tool. So is fear. You have to use it, though, to your advantage. Not let it hinder you or stop you. You catch me? I'm replacing that with you feel me, because I feel like that's a bit rapey. So I'm like, you catch me? Because that's like positive. Like, yeah, I'll catch you. All right, we can be friends. You feel me? No, creeper. Rapey. Trying to lighten the mood. I rely on my humor. And any kind of trauma. As you can tell, I can't even make it through one whole session without making a joke. This is actually the therapy session that I was dreading the most. Not sure why I didn't make it my first one, because I didn't want the pressure of that. But there's a reason why it's the second, and I can just move on to the next topic, because I still work at this every day, and I also get very emotional as an empath, feeling you, because again, what you're going through in your emotions, because I've been there. Like, it sucks. But let's get into the lecture. No, it is not time yet. So at this point, in the depression, forgiveness can't come, because this is about forgiving yourself now. Forgiving, like I had to forgive myself. Oh my God, there's 2 hourglasses. This is time for you time. This is about making goals and reorganizing your life. I feel like once I made a positive plan, like going back to school, I started meeting new people. I filled up my day. I got into fitness. I just started, being better and doing better. All that takes time. Like, at no point in any of that could I have looked at my attacker and said, I forgive you. I hated that motherfucker. But like I said, I needed that hate. I did MMA during this time on the side, just physically fighting out my anger. Anger drove me through school and exams, and like death of my friends happened in between all of this and all their traumas, and this anger of I'm not going to let this person defeat me was the one thing that kept me alive and up out of bed through that depressive state. So I feel like a lot of people in therapy groups also experience the a similar thing. Again, anger can take you down a dark path. It has to be used to your advantage or it will be used to destroy you. So anger can turn into like drinking and just, growing into addictions or pushing everybody out of your life. That also happened a few times. Like I would bounce between the healthy aspect of anger and the unhealthy aspect of anger. And you're going to do that. One time you're going to be using that anger for positive momentum, and you could be doing that all on one day. The anger is motivating you to stick with your school or stick with your job or your training program, but then at the end of your day you're going to drink because you can't sit home with your thoughts. You know what I mean? The bad part of anger kicks in. So this is about learning healthy habits because we don't want to fall victim of that because of what happened to us. You don't want it to become another trauma in your life. This is also a good time to be kicking those bad habits. Someone new is coming. So this is when, like I said, at this point, I was making new friends. I was filling up my schedule. This happens to a lot of us. We want to kind of move away from anything that reminds us of what happened. So it is very common for people to make all new friends and stop talking to old friends, not because they want to be mean, but because seeing their face reminds them of what happened, or being in the same places. They might want to just move away without, much notice. So it's like, I want to rebuild my life. I want to come, or make something of myself. Like if you were bullied, I feel like this part is of, like, I want to go make something of myself so that they can't, like, I'm going to make them eat their words. Everything they said to me, they're going to regret it one day. That was a healthy way to use anger. Alright, so we're coming on this phase now, so we want to build a new life. We've faced what we've done. We've talked about it. We're coming up and out of this depression, or you could still currently be in it at this point because depression stretches. I'm not going to put a label on it, but where in forgiveness are we at now that we're rebuilding our life? We have new people. We have a purpose. We have a plan in place. What part of forgiveness are we focusing on at this point? Love. A lot of people, this was true for me. I started a new relationship. I met someone. I was comfortable to tell them a little bit about what happened to me. This is the person I accidentally punched in a reaction, and it kind of forced me to have to tell them a little bit about my trauma. But anyway, you're at the point of relationships where you're able to tell a little bit, to express, like, look, this is what happens to me. I have quirks. But this is about starting new relationships. You're rebuilding your life. You're trying to move away. You're manifesting away from your trauma. I want to find someone who loves me, and I want to be comfortable with being touched, and I want to have emotional and loving sex, or I want to go be around people who think I'm awesome and love me and don't bully me. And I feel like this is when a lot of euphoria happens. We get caught up in, because things are going good for us, that we are cured, and then something happens and we're triggered again. This is when I was experiencing a lot of anxiety attacks, and when I started getting diagnosed with anxiety, because my day and my life was great. I was in love. I was in school. My life was in a good direction. I thought I had put it all behind me. But then I would wake up with nightmares, and I'd be like, oh my God, it's all coming back to me again. And then, oh my God, I'm falling back. Like, you get choked up. It's like the rug getting pulled underneath you. So you're going on. You built this life. You're happy. But then the nightmares come back, the anger comes back, you can't forget. Maybe you see the person, or somebody treats you like shit, and you're triggered, and you're just like, ugh. The energy shifts. Like, you're not so happy now. You have to relive this again, and then you get angry again for having to deal with it. But I feel like at this point, the energy in your mind is healthier. So this is at the point where you're like, ugh, maybe I need to go back and talk to my counselor again. Or because you're able to talk about it with people in your life, you might be like, look, I had a dream, like, I don't know why I don't feel right. Like, is it weird? Like, you could be asking advice at this point. What part of forgiveness are we at here? And we're triggered and, we're happy. We've seen life move on. Why can't forgiveness just fully happen here, Spirit? Signs from heaven. Those are the triggers. That's like what I said about Spirit, like that day when I just flipped out because they were holding me against my will and I felt trapped. Again, in that moment, I couldn't see why I was triggered. But you're triggered in those, like, you're happy, your life is going, but then all these things start happening to you because Spirit wants you to clean it up and put it away so you can genuinely be happy. They want you to face it and deal with it head on, like in the beginning. When you went through that phase and you had to face it and you were crying and you got depressed, it's like you can have happiness. We want you to keep this happiness, but you still have a wound that needs to be healed. So it's like, all right, so these triggers are happening. Now we're understanding a little bit more of why we're being triggered. We're seeing characteristics of our bully or attacker in another person, or another person is making us feel like we are losing our power. So this is where we start to learn to set boundaries. We took our power back, learned ways to be safe, but now we need to set those emotional boundaries, because as much as you feel physically safe, once you start setting mental and like emotional boundaries that protect yourself and people don't cross it, and you realize that you have respect, that also makes you feel stronger, and that's also very, very healing. So this is very much about putting people in check. Not allowing yourself to be bullied. Again, standing up to a bully is so healthy to your growth and your forgiveness, because I stood up for myself. I'm not what that person said. I'm not weak. I don't need to picture myself as that weak person getting yelled at by a bully. If that bully ever bullies me again, I'll whoop their butt. It gives you confidence. This is what they're trying to do at this point. The miracle of prayer. This is when we need to really be relying on our spirituality and our morals. Faith is a very, very good tool, and just learning to channel all these emotions. And we're never going to understand why. We're never going to be at full peace for being a victim of anything. But sometimes we really just struggle emotionally. I say to Spirit all the time, I don't know how I'm supposed to put this down, Spirit. I'm so angry. They were so wrong to me. They did me so dirty. I don't know how you expect me to put this down. So I'm just going to give it to you to put it down, because I don't know how. I don't know how to put this down. Spirit will help you. Or this is going to your counselor and saying that very exact same thing. I don't want to be angry anymore. I don't know how to not be angry. I've been angry for so long, I don't know how to stop being angry. That's honest. That's true. That's something I feel like we all feel. Some days I'm still angry at that motherfucker. I can't help it. Earth Angel. This is about always reminding yourself, think about, whatever you believe in, whether you believe it or not, there's always a story like it. Like Jesus, he was dragged through the streets, beaten. People treated him like shit. And he did something because he believed in it with all of his heart. And he was strong in his characters, and he was strong in his morals. And this world can beat you up. They can hurt you 1,000,000 times over. But no matter what, you're going to carry that dang cross. And ain't nobody going to crush your soul and your spirit. This is just a body, okay? They can't touch your mind. They can't touch your soul. This is when this comes in and you start realizing I might be different than everybody else, but this difference makes me so much stronger than everyone else. This is when you stop looking at yourself as weird and like damaged. I'm strong. Look how far I've come, but help me come the rest of the way. So how do we work on forgiveness here? How do I help people that just don't want to be angry anymore? Spirit? Cedar tree, wisdom. Learning the wisdom. Like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I needed to understand why criminals do what they do, why decisions are made, and not from like, oh, because their mother beat them, but from like a psychological level. I wanted to understand the brain. I took forensic science. I started studying psychology, understanding the mind of my attacker. Somehow gave me some kind of peace. I'm not going to say that it's going to work for everyone, but everyone's going to have their thing. Like, maybe if whoever hurt you is like, why do kids get bullied? Or why are kids bullies? And digging into the psychology and like going out and helping kids fix their shit is going to be so freeing. By going back to the kid level and seeing the bully and their side of it, and then seeing the kid be bullied and their side of it, and helping them stand up for themselves, and making those two become friends. I mean, I know everybody doesn't have that possibility, but the learning lesson in that is so freeing to your own pain and trauma. It just helps it click and connect in a way that you would never have if you don't see both sides as a children, if you don't walk it for a minute. It's like take a lesson in it that changes your life. This is how you let go of the anger. Understanding as best as you can, making sense of what it all means in your own way that's going to bring you peace is how you dead anger. This is about a lot of in your mind space. Like, I was always up in my mind. Like I said, I couldn't understand. I couldn't make peace why a person would come at a child or what. I was trying to make sense. Who could do that? And I just couldn't get out of my head about it. And it was like eating me alive. So I put all that energy into research. But I feel like there's always going to be something that's clawing in your mind. But this could be like activism as well. A big part of healing for me, just in my own person. Again, it's not going to help for everyone, but not like going to a big event and talking to the world, but actually going to like a rape center or a therapy group and talking to other people like me in my own personal situation. And working with them and talking to them was so helpful for me, and it was so helpful for them. This is about finding your own support, like finding your own way of helping, because helping someone else also gives you peace. You can't change what happened to you, but if you can change and you can educate other people, it gives you a sense of, well, at least something good came out of it. And I feel like that also helps anger dissipate. Water, lifeblood. Yes, this is about, a lot of people who get stuck in the anger, look at the truth of it from a different perspective. Like, if you're older, like, you have a spouse and you have children, and you're going to do everything in your power to protect your spouse and your children and make sure that they're never bullied or attacked, and like you don't want to keep going as this angry person, broken person, because you're going to only be giving them half of yourself. So you need to heal and forgive so that you can give your whole heart to the people who deserve it, who have earned it in your life, and not the one who has taken it. back that energy and give it to the people you love. Give it to your future. Give your energy and your authority. This is why we have to forgive. Because if we don't, it changes us, and that affects everybody else who cares about us. And this attacker, this bully has already taken enough from you. Do not let them take the rest. This is about standing up and saying, I'm going to go on with my life, a happier, lighter person for me and for the people who love me, because they don't deserve to have this angry person around. I don't want to be this angry person, but let's face it, there's always going to be fiery tension. Why did you do this to me? How could you do this? I wish I could kick their freaking booties. It's always going to pop up. Give it to your faith. Find a way in the light to release that anger that doesn't destroy your life or your character or the people in your life. All right, so now we're at the phase. So we're at the point like, okay, I've been angry long enough. I'm ready to let go. I'm ready to forgive because I understand now this is about forgiving for me and not them. So I actively want to forgive. I'm putting energy into forgiveness. So what advice do we have at this point, Spirit? The Prophet. Yes. This is about understanding that we aren't, it's such an asshole saying, especially if you're the victim, but you're only given what you can handle. And then you're like, oh, great, well, thanks. I know I'm a badass, but did I really have to fucking go through that shit? Hello? That's an honest feeling. We all feel that. But at the same time, recognizing how badass you really are and owning it. It's okay to just be like, you know what? I'm powerful. Because it took you miles and years and pain to feel that and say that out loud. Yeah, this is about choosing to put that love. Your heart is free. Like I said, this is the point of somebody who's done the work. They've faced it. They've gone through the depression. Were in the thick of anger. They rebuilt their life, and now they're just like, you know what? It don't make sense to me now. Like, I gotta let this go. I'm in love with my family, or I wanna find love. I wanna find my thing. I wanna focus on myself. So some people are in this phase of, let's focus on my family, let's have babies, let's get married. That vitality for life comes back. Or all that anger that you used to motivate you is now reaping the rewards. You're like graduating, getting that dream job, what have you. But this is like you finally... It's kind of like back before when the good stuff started coming in, but without so many triggers. It's like Spirit doesn't need to remind you so much that there's wounds. You're slowly realizing them yourself. And you're putting your energy and love into the things and people you want in a way you haven't since all of this happened. And this is the true meaning of forgiveness. This is the point of actual forgiveness, not when it starts, not the process of it. That moment of, I understand this, and I'm just going to put this away because I deserve this life, and I'm leaving this behind, and I'm going forward. That is forgiveness. What advice can I give to those in this moment of, or when they reach this moment of, I need to move on and put this away? Hey, why are you going all the way over there? I do splits. 6 of Shells. Sentient joy. Yes, this is about following your joy. It's about feeling genuine happiness. There's a lot of partnerships. I don't know if it's because you're finally a healed person that you're able to accept commitment, but this is about finding a partner, finding your path, walking with spirit. Like you've done the work. This is when a lot of people get into activism and want to turn around and help people that were in their shoes. Also keeps you connected to, like I still to this day work in activism because I always want to be doing my part, because it always is a need to want to make sure that some other kid doesn't experience that down the road. So as long as I'm continuously, actively doing something about it, I feel stronger. And I feel like this is a moment for people. This is when we're using forgiveness in action. We're taking something bad that happened to us and we're now starting to turn it into good things, and we're giving back. And even if you aren't into activism, this is just giving back to your family. Like maybe you were a recluse, maybe you shut down. Now it's like coming back to life and getting to know people and coming out of your house and not being a recluse. The Magician, yeah, you start manifesting new life. You never thought you were going to get to this point. Like you never thought that you could go through a day without thinking about it, or that you could sleep with someone and never have a moment of like, oh my God, or, ever have self-confidence after being bullied for so long. But this is when you're standing back up in your power. Okay, this is forgiveness has come. I'm not going to think back on it anymore. I'm just going to pray for that person. I'm going to do my damn thing, man. Confidence. Every time you climb a mountain and get over it, you become 10 times stronger than you were before you even climbed the mountain. Sometimes 20 times, depending on what kind of mountain you climbed. So you're just a better version of yourself at this point. You're spiritually in tuned, high vibrational. Usually at this point you have a lot of wisdom about life. You're probably good at advice. You're smart with your relationships. You're caring. You're giving. You're always paying attention. You probably pay attention to people more than people who weren't bullied or harmed in some way. Knight of Feathers. Action and focus. Yeah, like this is... You're always going to have those moments where you jump back. And you just got to keep reminding yourself, like, listen, we gotta forgive them. Again, it's not forgiving them for them. We gotta cut that tether. They're trying to grow that tether back. Oh no, home slice. Let me get them scissors back out. You're gonna have to continuously work at it throughout your life. It's not gonna go away forever. They're reminding you of that. But this is when you come out of healing, when you've truly forgiven yourself, them, like for your bad, like my bad choices of flipping out on people, like, or, those moments of being a dick to therapists, I had to forgive myself. I carried guilt for that. So you have to forgive them. You have to forgive yourself. This is when the freedom comes, and with it, you will have vitality for life. You have all this room in your mind to think about other things. You have all this drive because you're not weighed down by a bunch of dead weight from your past. So overall, not in any steps, what else can I tell the collective to help them forgive a bully? Specifically bullies. How can I help them overcome and forgive bullies? Entrepreneur. I feel like a lot of people, some of the best entrepreneurs, some of the most successful people on this planet were bullied, and they did it just to show their bullies, bully me, say I ain't shit. Look at me now. Look at me now, my love. It comes from being bullied, from feeling small, and that trigger, waking that beast up inside you, like, you said I ain't shit, I'm gonna show you. And perhaps, maybe if you weren't bullied at all, you might not be as successful as you are. Maybe that was just spirit lighting a match under your ballies or your bungholes, so that you would grow up to be fierce money makers. But it's true. Like, some of the smartest people in the world, the most successful people, the people we rely on, they were bullied. Can you imagine if all of, They also become mentors. A lot of people who are bullied become like MMA fighters. They grow up to fight the bully. Self-authentic expression. They learn, when you're bullied, you learn, like, okay, you're always going to be expressing your inner child. So when you grow up as someone who's bullied, I feel like you're able to dress yourself more and be yourself more, because it's like, well, I was myself and they gave me all that shit. Like, how much worse can it be? You know, I'm just going to do my thing then. Like, in a weird way, it breaks down your self-confidence when it's happening. But once that forgiveness comes and you learn to, like, say to your bully, you become this fierce entrepreneur, like, ain't nobody gonna tell me nothing attitude. And you grow strong from it. So if you are experiencing bullies in your life, just know you're gonna grow up to be a badass entrepreneur, and you're gonna tell them to eat their own poop. Statistically speaking, you're gonna be more successful because they're a dick. You're welcome. No, let's give you some real advice. I mean, there is real advice, but some more helpful advice. For bullies, how can they overcome a bully? Inner child. To me, I always feel like, limiting beliefs. When somebody bullies you, they see something they want in you, that they want in themselves, and they know they just can't have it. Either you have a talent, you have a spark, or you just have like a power about you, or you're just uniquely yourself, like you don't give a shit. You have your own style, your own fashion, you do your own thing. They can't fucking handle it. They can't fucking handle it. That's all a bully is. It's because you're special. And I know that's such a cheesy thing to say, but Spirit's like, they're low vibrational. They don't feel like they can ever be or do what you have. So they just want to break you so that you stay stuck underneath them, because they recognize, oh, that person's actually an alpha and I'm a beta. So I need to make sure that they feel like they're a beta and I'm an alpha. It's an optical illusion. Okay? Nobody likes a bully. Let's hope they go extinct. How do we help people who are attacked? Any other advice on how they can overcome and forgive? Material and spiritual prosperity. Let me get one more because I'm getting a few things. Clarify. Whoa. Temptation. Okay, so I think what Spirit is saying, look, when trauma happens and people attack us, we have two choices. We can use it to throw plates and be angry and like get that retaliation, retribution, V is for vendetta shit. And you can just spend your whole life on this mission of destruction, of destroying everybody who hurt you. Or you can use it to motivate you and gain material and physical and spiritual wealth. You can learn the lesson and go forth and teach other people how to survive. You could become an entrepreneur, using that drive to get yourself through school, making something of yourself over the person who tried to break you. You have two choices. The choice is always yours. But Spirit's like, use it to make something of yourself instead of using it to break everything around you. Any other advice for any kind of attack? Yeah. Love goes. You are how do I say this? You are in control of love. Like I said, this is just a meat suit. Nobody can break your soul. But let's face it, life can get hard. and we can feel like we lost our soul for a minute. But this is Spirit always saying, your soul is yours, and no matter what anyone does from it, nobody can take your capacity to love. See the truth. Like those bullies just see something that they want to be, and they don't feel like, they see you as hopeful. They want to be like you, but they can't. And if you're attacked, this is understanding that anybody can do anything in this world to you, but you're the one that gets back up, and you're the one that tells them to go F themselves, and nobody can take that go yourself from you. And you're just going to keep doing it every time because you're strong. And that's the truth of it. You're strong, and they are weak. That's the God's honest truth of any victim on this earth. That you stand up today after what happened to you. You are 99 million times stronger than the person who hurt you, because they could not do what you do. Their whole point was to break you apart. This is what they want. They want you to look at yourself with disgust, to steal your hope. Don't give them the satisfaction. Love yourself. Let it go. Let their sins wash off you, and let them carry it by them damn selves. You go on, you see the truth of who you are and how strong you are, and you build your life, and you have hope. And know that when you get to heaven, you're going to rest with the angels for all the wars that you have endured every single day since this happened to you. War within yourself. They bring people into your life to help you along the way. And you're a warrior. Spirit always sees you as the warrior you are. And they do everything in their power for you to see it too. By bringing in these partnerships, bringing in this help. They can't affect free will. If they could strike down every attacker, every bully, they would. To be honest, but everybody has a choice in the evil they become. But they can get you through it by giving you the spiritual tools, by giving you the strength, and we just got to learn how to use them within ourselves. But remember what I said. When you don't forgive, it's a string from your soul to your bullies or your attackers. If you don't do the work, if you don't forgive them and let it go, you are energetically tied to them for life, and they don't deserve you. They don't deserve to be around you or in your energy at all, ever. Cut that string for yourself so that you can look forward to your future and leave them in the damn dust where they belong. I hope this was helpful. I hope you liked it, and I hope it directed you with some good, solid sense from Spirit and I. And next week, I forget what is our topic. Here's my paper. We have 2 more anger management series, or sessions for this series. But next week is how to forgive your parents. So we're working with family and, childhood stuff next week. So, we've done how to forgive your ex-spouse or partner. Now we've done how to forgive your attacker and bully. Next week we're talking about how to forgive your parents/family. And the last one you will find out next week. So I hope you're liking these. If you want these in the future, I have 20 weeks planned out. So if you want them beyond the 20 weeks and just keep doing things that I'm pulled to do, let me know by hitting the like button. If it resonated, if it helped you, if you want more sessions like this in the future on this topic, please let me know in the comments. Let me know by liking, sharing. If you like my energy, please subscribe. Don't forget, I almost forgot. If you are into tarot or have a tarot channel or just want to play, I'm giving this away on March 17th. The Earthcraft Oracle. It's a beautiful deck. I just didn't jive with it. Beautiful cards. They have all different ethnicities and body shapes. They're not actual tarot cards, so these are good for beginners. They have numerology on here as in numbers, and they have words to help you learn how to channel. The box is mint. I never even opened the guidebook at all. I think I only used this twice, maybe 3 times, so it's mint condition. And the only requirement to win this is that you are a subscriber. So be sure to hit that, because March 17th is next Friday, my favorite holiday, St. Patrick's Day. Anyway, it was my St. Patrick's Day parade in Syracuse this weekend. I didn't get to go because it was a blizzard and I'm over the snow, and I meant to watch it on TV, but I was writing a short story. And I looked up, I'm like, crap, the parade's almost over. So I missed most of it. But next year I plan to go, as long as there's not a blizzard. We've had really good years where, it's cold, but there's no snow or rain. I'll go on those days. But we legit had a couple inches of snowfall today. And I wasn't about to deal with that and a bunch of drunks. No offense. Love you all. I will see you next time. Have a great, amazing Sunday. Remember, I go back to work tonight. I don't usually record from Sunday. You'll see me again on Thursday for my tea time therapy session. So usually from Sunday to Thursday I don't record because I'm working at Amazon, and I'm dying. I'm in a new position that's, it's easy work, but it's physical work, and I just don't have the energy. And if I do have the energy, I've been popping on for some surprise ones, so you might see me, you might not. I'm just letting you know. I will be back Thursday for more tea time therapy. That's a spirit-guided session. I don't have a topic for it. Then Friday, I do my Skybar Confessions, which is channeled departed loved one messages. And then Saturday, we do our Pillow Talk reading. That's like relationship, sex, love stuff, therapy sessions for that. And then, of course, Sunday, the Soulful Sunday Sessions with Spirit. So I will see you all next week for more. Until then, have a good week. And don't forget, Friday is St. Patrick's Day. Get in on this if you want it. You gotta be a subscriber. And yeah, toodaloo, woo-boos. Bye.